from the Grey White, north of Mirage. They're going to ban Nook first. No Nook, say it.
Nook.
There you go.
There's no Nook. And of course, Villa is a stable ban because there's all those staircases and the basement is so huge. Almost like having Kavera on the attacking side, but with frag grenades. So, of course, we don't want to deal with that when we're defending. Hibana actually gets banned secondly. Very common that you ban a ranged hot breacher, either Ace or Hibana, so nothing out of the ordinary so far.
What else will join? Valkyrie will also be banned out. I don't want to say that's too common, but I mean, her ban rate is quite high, especially here in NAL. We haven't seen a lot of her get played today, and then there's the other shoe that drops. We're just waiting for it. Azami taken out as well, and those are all 4 of the operators that will be unusable.
So in all 3 games that we've cast today, Asami was removed from play, essentially, and it seems to just, if anything, her ban rate is increasing. Because it's, she's not really having a lot of play. That's for sure. Valkyrie Zed Parker, very common operator as well. It's just like one of the only information operators in the game right now that it gets played frequently. Some teams like Rogue and UL, the Berlin Major, they play a lot of Echo. But I don't really think we have a team in North America that plays Echo enough to either warrant a ban, nor anyone being like, oh, this is a problem. So until a team starts doing that, well, Valkyrie will just keep on getting banned. That's the only information operator. Now, Kino is currently hovering Kali. Now, Kino tends to do this on A, Bank, and B, Villa. And I still can't tell if he's memeing or not, because like he does get kills with it, and usually XSET plays quite well with that operator in play as well. But it just seems like an odd operator for Kino of all people to play. And he sticks it. The only thing that gets changed is that Spirits goes for Blitz for just a second, but then goes to Ace at that last final moment that he had to change. So ranged top breach, name of the game. Hibana is off the board. That means you have 3 less flashbangs on every single round, assuming you were going to be playing the Hibana. That means the utility has to be sharp from the rest of the lineup. That's why we see flashbangs from line, smokes from Twitch, nades from the Sledge, and of course you get that utility clear on the Kali.
Did we not see Kino on Kali in Berlin? I distinctly remember seeing
on Bank,
him.
I believe.
Yeah, well, I actually think it was on Villa.
I mean, I might have been. I think it's both actually.
Why don't we go? Why don't we look? Why don't we look at the Berlin Major groups?
I know for a fact he played Kali. I don't remember if it's specifically Berlin Major or not, but I believe he did.
Oh, okay. Well, my apologies there.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm trying to remember. Look, we casted a lot of games.
That we did.
And was trying to figure out which day it was. But I mean, we could be wrong. It could just be mixing it up. But I'm pretty sure we've seen him on Kali before.
No, we certainly have.
And like you said, it might have been Bank as well.
Either way.
It's the advantage of bringing a Kali in this situation over secondary EMPs. Well, during Gomez is bringing a Twitch or even a Thatcher. Why would teams decide to bring a Kali here?
I mean, I would argue that, one, it's personal preference for long range like we see right now, but also Kali's lances can destroy soft utility, right? Castle barricades, Maestro cameras, shields, etc. So it's like an EMP and Ash charge combined into one, and Kali has 4 lances now. So the value you get from the operator is actually rather large. It's just that most pro players are uncomfortable with a sniper weapon, so they're like, we want to have a stronger gun, therefore we're not going to play the Kali. Kino, he's just built different. So is Gomez and so is Yogg, because they go 1 apiece. Kento trades into Yogg, rather. But still have 4 versus 3 rather.
Obviously benefiting XSET right now is back towards Aviator Games. Kento will go, missing out on a very crucial drone that will continue to feed information to the rest of XSET. Now it's Benji to take some damage there from Spirits. Where's Kino? He's going to be the difference maker. Where the Kali is. Positioned, waiting, watching towards Vault. Not inside a study yet, but a long range means that the long range of this sniper means that you'll be able to pin people down. There was some movement inside of Vault, so that's more information for XSET as to one of the 3 remaining defenders, Mirage being in that position.
And you still got 40 seconds to play with. Now this shield is a bit of a problem, but so much has to go south, he will deal with it, but Kento swings nicely off that angle.
My goodness, Kento taken from behind. It leaves Melted to clutch. Smoke is a clutch machine, but we'll now have to wait out the EE1D. 3 toxic canisters for Melted. He can put on a serious hurt, but as he starts to do damage, ticking away at Gomez. Where is Diaz? That is the real question. Swung from 2 separate angles, Melted in a really tough spot right now, but deny them the ability to get that diffuser down. Melted getting pinged away, they know where he is. Continuing to fire. Diaz at the diffuser over half, waiting for Gomez. Can Melted pull this one off? He sees the Twitch shotgun out, gets a little bit too close. That's a down, but Diaz ensures that XSET prevails on round number 1.
That's just so close indeed there, but with shotgun on that long distance, I don't think that really would have been able to get the kill at the end. And it's a successful attack on the opening round, and it was not that messy. It was rather clean. The only thing that really happened that was not so good was that the diffuser case was on the study balcony in that 1 versus 2, and it forced X to take another 10 seconds to get established on the bomb side. But once they got there, with that Lion Charge to spare, that really sealed the deal. Having SMG-11 in a 1 versus 2 is never ideal. Sure, in an individual isolated gunfight, it's a great weapon, but only having 17 bullets at your disposal is never a great situation if you gotta shoot a drone, pre-fire a wall, etc. And you saw it in that 1 versus 2. Had to reload 2 times and to go for the shotgun. It's not pretty. And then Mirage, they changed the bomb set up immediately onto Trophy Statue instead. Change things up here. Double reinforcements out of Astro, so a passive hold if you will. We see more and more pro teams play only 1 reinforcement. But then when you take a look at triple wall, 2 reinforced, 1 soft. Angle towards claws will be opened up, and a roam extended on the other side of the map from Dexter, Benji, and Mo. Jammers, of course, to help stop the drone information, and then Dexter reinforcing those off its walls in towards the bar to help assist this roam game. Spirits is showing us not the Blitz, but the Monty.
The Mountain.
The Mountain, the door himself, yeah.
The French operator played by the French player. French-Canadian.
French-Canadian, yes.
Because I know that the people from France would take umbrage with calling him that, but that's just splitting hairs. As the assault from XSET begins, it's going to be over towards Study and head closer to the bomb site that's over towards Trophy and Statuary.
I'm a huge fan of Monty and Villa because you can, as you see here, you can just walk on in, take top stairs control. Okay, that's clear. Main stairs, that's clear. Going towards long hallway. The only real counter to Monty right now is vertical play with a C4. And when Valkyrie's banned and you're not really playing poles, that's not really something that we're going to be seeing very often. So either you're going to force Mirage into a different playstyle that might be uncomfortable with, or you just take all this ground for free.
And Spirits is just taking it all for free. Melted, who's hanging on to those toxic canisters till the very second of the final first round, has now already expended 1 of them. He didn't exactly help Melted the way that he wanted. It's also a small change to Melted's lineup. He's not bringing the shotgun. He's bringing both SMGs with him. So not expecting close range combat.
Gotta get that 1.5x, gotta get that enabled up. Mo is down below with a C4 in his pocket, could use it later on, but no information. Mo gets the kill to DS instead though, that's Aina off the board, a valuable operator.
And that's Mirage getting the first pick to answer back to the first round where XSET had that upper hand. Yana is a particularly strong operator on just about every single map.
Yeah.
But here, when you're looking at clearing away utility, the grenades, very helpful. Being able to drone in, you're dealing with a mute, but I mean, the information that's going to be gained by the Yana, always applicable, especially if you're trying to scout in a Monty.
Yep, that's the thing, when you play Monty, you're having 1 less gun on the board, so when you lose the opening kill, well, that's 1 less to go, and Mo finds a second on the round, almost gets killed, but no, he gets away, just a little bit of HP. Good aggression.
Jump out from Benji, and ends up working. Kento's down and bleeding out. But now you find yourself in a very bad position. Spirits, as the Montaigne, can't really do that much as he tries to close the gap. Leaves Yaga all alone. Kento getting picked back up. Nobody on the floor for Mirage. Many eyes will look towards Yaga's position. They know he's there, or at least have a suspicion at worst. You can see the bullets go over his head. Yaga might just be killing as much time as possible. He knows that the task ahead of him is pretty much impossible. Mirage are aware of that too. And while we've seen some superb clutches from Yaga, the likelihood of one emerging right now, very small. A single pick onto Mo means no flawless round from Mirage, but the case is miles away. And Yaga won't even be able to make it into the room closest to him. Dexter ends that one, and Mirage tie the game.
Now to do it again, the early aggression from Mo really sealed the deal there, getting multiple kills in the round, and Benji followed up with a nice aggressive play, jumping out that closet window towards the master bedroom balcony player of Ace. And at that point, well, you got a Monty in the bomb site getting smoked out and shot by 3 different members. Then York, instead of Boar, couldn't do anything to assist his teammate there. Tied up 1-1, round 3, we are going to go back to AVG, so we're not going to be going downstairs just yet. And that is a question that we have to raise. The tertiary bomb sites today, they haven't seen that much play. It's been kind of very close games, round by round, but the tertiary bomb site in Villa is actually rather strong. It's that kitchen bomb site that most teams go to, not the library one, because that is an extremely rare one to get seen at this level of play. And the couple of options here for XSET, right? They now played the Kali, they can play without the Kali, they played the Monty, they can play without the Monty, and now that we see the second Chime seeing the same bomb side, we have to see how is XSET going to respond on their attacking repick lineup, because Gomez was showing the Bok originally, and Diaz was hovering the Nomad. But upon seeing the bomb side and discussing what they might do, they've gone to Twitch and the Flores instead. This kind of signifies a top main attack, because the Flores drones and Twitch drones can clear out utility in the office, top main area, you take main stairs control, whereas last time, they did a bit of a split take, right? They were in master bedroom, they roam cleared successfully, and then they rotated to study balcony later, except they might have a different approach this time around.
Things change up. The way that they go about this. I would have liked to have seen more Monty, to be honest. I always do like the shield play that gets brought from certain operators. Clash, in particular, was fun to see for a period of time on defense, but has now very firmly been pushed out of the meta because she just doesn't really bring what you need. It's easier to coordinate against her. Kali's a hard counter, Nomad's a hard counter, Capitão's a hard counter. Any set of nades, hard counter. Zofia is probably her biggest with that concussion from the lifeline, moving the shield aside and allowing a follow-up to be had. Either way, the creativity that can come is huge. And I wanted to know what XSET was trying with the Monty, but we might have to wait until an exit interview to get a better bit of information. Spirits, whether he's on a shield or not, has struggled in this matchup. It'll be the first death in round number 3, yet to find a kill.
Yeah, the thing about Monty is that if you win the round, you can kind of do it again, but if it fails, normally a Monty player will say, okay, it didn't work, we're going to change things up, get me a gun. But when you do that, the Monty play, and it fails, now you go to Ayana, you get intro killed in the first minute. Now Spirits is like, what am I doing wrong? Well, oh my god, Gomez should never have lost that gunfight by the looks of it, but Dexter, he comes out on top instead with a sliver of HP.
Yeah, I'm a bit shocked as to how that one played out.
It looked free, right?
I mean, it absolutely did, especially when you got the F2 in hand. That gun really doesn't have you lose gunfights. It's, yeah, usually operator error. Kino's next to die for XSET. It was almost a flawless round for Mirage in round number 2. Another one is shaping up for them. There's still plenty of opportunity for XSET to get a pick, but when you've got Dexter swinging like that, well, not much you can do. Now leaves Diaz on the other side of the map, and he's probably just going to kill time, I imagine. Very similar position that Yago was in. 1 minute to go, and yeah. What is Diaz doing at this point? He's just killing time, allowing his team to talk. Mirage will wait it out. This is a tactical timeout essentially being taken, and XSET will not win the round.
And the two new members of Mirage, Mo and Dexter right now, they have done such a good job in all 3 rounds right now. The aggression, holding the ground, playing that fine line, and never really trading their lives for nothing. There's usually a trade or something of all the value coming back towards them. And Dexter just keep up that aggression while Diaz sort of dance around him. Dexter might get flashed up, but remember, he is Warden. This does not work against him. Diaz, come on, swing the door, man. Flawless round from Mirage. Dexter gets that 3rd kill in the round. He's saying, what's up, man? What are you guys doing?
I mean, if it wasn't for Yaga getting that 1 pick in the previous round to start it off, it would have been 2 flawless in a row. Mirage had difficulties on their very first defense, but they seem to have shored up whatever they had going wrong with them. It's given them a successful win on both Trophy and Aviator on their defenses, and now they have to go to one of the 2 downstairs bomb sites. XSET, whether it just because of a strategic element or because Spirits is not feeling himself, will once again bring a Montaigne, and instead will bring it towards this kitchen defense from Mirage. I suspect that we might see Monty try to roam clear up top because of the fact that most teams that defend kitchen will then go back up to the trophy statuary component of the map, but not actually defend the site there, just hold map control. That's something to keep an eye on. There's been a couple swaps out for XSET, but the Monty is staying, at least for now. Yana and IQ being brought in place of the Zero and the Twitch.
The Monty is really awkward here because if you go above for roam clear, you got to deal with the vertical C4s and the pulls. But if you don't go above, you got to deal with the verticality that you didn't clear. So there really is no winning in the scenario, I feel like, as the Monty player. This is one of the few bombs at the Villa where I probably wouldn't bring the operator myself. But Spirits, he's a veteran, seasoned Monty and shield player, so I'm sure he's got a good grasp for the situation. I will say, for Mirage, forcing Mo onto the poles when Mo has been like the opening kill player for their team, playing really far forward on that mute, being very aggressive, it's going to limit them more in their opening kill engagements because Mo is going to be active on that cardiac sensor, he's going to grant information, and sure, he has a C4, he could get the opening kill, but Mo is limited to being on the bomb site itself because that is always where the pulse will play in this particular situation. Diaz is on the IQ, can challenge him through that floor vertically, 1-to-1. It's going to be a cat and mouse game between these 2 operators. And if Diaz, you know, he waits for his right moment and opportunity, he might just get a free kill onto the poles as he's on his scanner. Breach goes out, no wall deny there to be had, no vertical holes to deny that summon charge either, so Benji forced a little bit further back towards that statuary area above. XSET making good and rather quick progress right now, and with the Monty, it might even be, you know, even easier for them to clear out the rest of the top floor.
And there goes one of the Banshees to let them know that the Monty is indeed roam clearing up top, as we had speculated on. Down below, Mohesi getting information. Lots of it, in fact. 3 bodies will be spotted on that sensor, but he'll lose some of the cover that he had because of the sledge work that was coming in from Yaga. XSET still know exactly where they want to advance from. Portions of that floor, by the way, cannot be C4'd. So if you're Mo, you want to stay a little bit farther back and know exactly when that Nitro Cell is going to be successful. I think it was Astralis, actually, who Nitro Celled a portion of the floor. That couldn't be taken out. Spirits is dead yet again, the first to die for the 2nd round in a row. The Monty will not be successful yet again. It's an opportunity that XSET has let slip through their fingers now for 2 rounds.
It's a really awkward position because Spirits couldn't stay inside a statue because of the C4. He had to go top red instead. Then he gets isolated into a 1 versus 1 with a Jaeger and somehow loses that gunfight, or that engagement rather. And now XSET, they're playing 4v5. They lost their pocket pick. We still got 2 C4s. Well, make that 1 C4 left in the pocket of Mo. Actually, both C4s been popped, nothing left. Oh, Gomez. He's in.
He's just in the midst of the bomb site. Not for long, though. Mo is there. Must have had some premonition as to whereabouts XSET was pushing from. Mirage can stretch their lead right now. Again, flawlessly done. XSET really struggling to get a kill. As I say that, Mo tries to fire back, takes a bit of Kino's life away, but Kino wins the engagement. But Dexter is not to be found upstairs, and they capitalize off of this. 2-4, and then a 3rd added to it as Melted holds down the bomb sites. Mirage, almost another flawless round, only sacrificing 2 players over the last 3 rounds. That's an impressive.
Rough the last couple rounds.
Nick, why did you have to go and make the same prediction as me? Because there's nothing more than I would like to do than gloat about how correct I was in picking Mirage, but you had to spoil that fun.
Why did you pick the same as me? I told you.
I picked first.
Yeah, but I told you what I was going to pick before you said it.
I told you that I was picking Mirage, and you looked at me and you said, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah. So
then I technically told you first.
Okay, so if I'm in, okay, so just get this straight. If you tell me what you're gonna do, I just have to do the opposite no matter what, even if I agree with the same thing?
That's correct.
Okay. From now on, I will always tell you.
Or you plug your ears and you don't hear it.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the day before we cast what I'm gonna predict, and then you just be doomed.
Did you predict XSET playing like this?
I did not expect XSET to play like this. I did not, but I did expect Mirage to play very well.
Okay. 7 kills for XSET through 4 rounds of action.
It's not pretty.
Less than 2 kills a round is not where you want to be, and the bulk of those came in round number 1.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, Spirits, that's like the main character right now in my eyes, right? Because he's tried 3 different operators. It's not working out.
Oh.
Kino gets the opening on the Dexter. Now, this is the thing that we need from XSET, right? Shut down that early aggression. Kino typing basically LOL in Portuguese in chat. And he gets that opening kill for his team.
I mean, Dexter also speaks Portuguese himself, as far as I'm aware.
That makes sense.
I mean, he has a Brazilian flag.
That makes perfect sense.
So I would wager as much that they communicate well with each other, but you don't need to speak Portuguese to know what the multitude of Ks means in chat. It's laughter. Getting rid of Dexter early. He has been such a thorn in the side of XSET because they have been struggling every single step of the way to find the offsite players of Mirage. And I don't know if it's because there's been a mute that's consistently been brought by Mirage. There isn't this time around, or if there's just been issues with XSET simply not droning it out effectively enough and focusing elsewhere. But now Kino, after that early pick, gets taken out by a run out from Kento. He jumps out, gets the kill, jumps right back in, doesn't lose anything in the process.
Yeah, and Gomez has spent both of his grenades, and they really didn't find much value. The Kite Claw is still active on the wall, second one in pocket as well, so Mirage are kind of comfortable in this position, and no diffusers on that balcony. They hear the rappel, they hear the drop as well. They're going to try and aggress for a moment, it looked like, but I think they're going to think better of it. 3 members of XSET now on the master bedroom balcony. They need this diffuser to get picked up and back in their pockets.
Kento scooting away. He's got Benji next to him for backup, and could they feel some of the heat from XSET in the closet? Well, Benji's still in this spot. He can do some serious damage. There's 2 players from XSET that are going to pressure him. And, well, one of those proximities go off, so target acquired. They know that he's inside of Closet. They have the tools to flush him out. You were talking about how the nades from XSET had not been the best place. There's still one in back pocket. If Yaga can time this one well, can flush Benji out, but they've wasted about 20 seconds on a single player of Mirage. There's a Frost in play. The longer that you start to tick away at this clock and you go to jump in, you're going to get down, and I imagine that's what just happened with Yaga and Benji in this position. He's going headhunting. XSET gets in on 2 kills, leaving Mo and Melted against Spirits and Diaz. Spirits his very first kill. Looking for another, gets it onto Mo, but he's traded across by Melted, who now just needs to find Diaz. 4 seconds left, and Melted clutches out the Frost mat, credited with the final kill, but it's Melted to take the heat to Mirage, and they're up 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, they needed that diffuser into their pockets, but they forgot about it because Sophia had to jump back out the window, pick it up, and go towards that bomb side. The last 2 members of XSET were not close together. They could not play for a trade. One member aggressed, one member played backwards. Even though Mo got caught during the rotate, Melted just played that position so well, passively, waiting for information, waiting for sound, then arguably baiting Mo a little bit there, but it worked out in the greater scheme of things, and Mirage looking really, really good so far. 4-1. Timeout does not work in XSET's favor, and now we get that full bomb site swap again, the full reset. Back to AVG we go. Opening round, XSET, they won this attack. That's the only round they've won so far. Then they lost every single round since. In the first opening round, Kino was on the Kali. Gonna swap right now to Zeta on towards the Ace instead for ranged top breach. Diaz goes back onto Flores, which has been their operator of choice for this particular attacking round, but they don't typically do much with the operator. The last 2 times they brought Flores, they were just losing gunfight after gunfight, and the round was over before that gadget even got used. So if anything, XSET, slow it down, do the steps first, then get aggressive, because right now, Mirage are beating you at the gun game.
Frostmat's going down yet again, and I mean, I always got to make mention of it. Yeah, you might be a pro team, but usually your opponents are going to do setup in such a way that
they know he's in.
Frostmat's going to make you pay. And look at Gomez being hunted down. Not too far off. Mo seems to know that he's there. Look at this.
I like this.
Couple sets eyes, all in the same position. And Mo sees it, easily cleaning up Gomez. XSET surrendering the opening pick yet again for the 4th time on this half.
Yeah, honestly, very ballsy from Mo there to go up aggressively because he could have been hurt from the footsteps, and Gomez gets that free kill. Dexter had the cross. It was a guaranteed kill for them. By the way, Mo and Dexter again playing on that roam together. It was good, well communicated by Mo that the door in garage was open. He has to come dining from pantry at some point in this round. Dexter be ready for it. He was. They get that kill. When with 2 minutes left in the round, XSET, they're just picking up the pieces right now. They haven't progressed on the map. The nades, once again, aren't doing any damage at all, not getting any kills. The shield is still alive top main. No Terror drones have been spent from Diaz. We're just kind of waiting right now for XSET to make their first approach, make their first decision, and so far, they've yet to do it.
This is not looking good for XSET at this exact moment, especially losing Gomez. As you mentioned, there goes the Rotero drones, though. Melted worrying about a follow-up, trying to delay some time. Another Rotero drone will go out. Clock management for XSET has been a serious struggle. Melted can easily handle that one. Expecting a follow-up. Somebody to get guided in by that Rotero, but nobody is behind it.
Oh, that's huge.
But this will be an absolute pick onto Kento. No idea what's going beneath him. And Yaga answers back. Smoke is here as well. Yaga could easily get one, but looks away. The Smoke will decide to dance back up towards Study. It's Kino there, and Melted is well read. 1 minute to go, and XSET now with the numbers advantage.
Only one member on side as well, so no real support there from the side of Melted. It's a bit of a shame, but Mo aggressively down below again. He reads the situation well. He knows he's being held. He can't progress right now. He has to trust that his members can hold the bomb site down, otherwise they are doomed.
Dexter taking some damage, by far and away the most impressive player from Mirage. Benji in on it. Dexter killed from an angle he didn't think existed. Spirits down below, and he manages to take out Mo, waiting, baiting him in. Now it's Benji to clutch out. Diffuser is not in play. Yaga's been down, so Benji will now reposition. He'll come head-to-head with the Yana and look the wrong way. Spirits cleans up. The final 2 kills for XSET, and they happen to be the second round for XSET as well. Choice words from Vivas as XSET escapes the first half, still staring down the barrel of defeat, but in a closer scoreline than it could have been.
4-2 is definitely necessary for you if you're XSET, right? You cannot just like expect to get one attacking round and pray your defenses are so good. Because yeah, sure, Villa, it's a lot easier to defend than it is to attack. You reinforce the default walls, you do your default hold, and then the attackers have to deal with all those different problems.
So over the last 2 rounds, XSET have been finding more confidence in their gunplay, but only have a single round to show for that. As for Mirage, they got 4 first bloods. That leads us to our question now as we start the second half. Who will have a higher overall rating after this match, Benji Mula or Diaz? If you had to pick, who would it be?
I mean, I gotta go with Benji because I'm a Mirage stan, you know, of course. But it's a close run, and also Benji just played his defensive side. That's arguably the easier aspect. Diaz still got 4 kills on his attack. The vote also relatively close, 42 to 58%. So there's no clear winner right now. We still got many more rounds to go as round number 7 is opening up in front of our very eyes. It's going to be an AVG defense to start things off for XSET. And Mirage's attacking lineup is pretty standard. The one thing they've done differently than XSET so far, they are bringing the buck. That's going to give them a second avenue of, you know, verticality, a different tool to go through the map. They can go below, work their way up. But also, there's so many soft walls, you know, on our screen right now. Whether it's the third walls at the master bedroom, the closet walls to bathroom, the Astra walls. There are so many different ways to use the buck on this map. And buck also has, you know, a bit of utility to use as well. Gomez holding on the first angle on the entry point. 1 and 5 to his name. Has to try and find some success here in shutting down these entry players.
Was just about to mention that, but Spirits, despite going, what was it, 0 and 4, has now found a couple rounds in a row where he's been able to pick up some kills, get himself to almost even. That whole team needs somebody to really take charge. And honestly, if we look at Spirits from his days all the way down the Canada division to where we are right now, Spirits has struggled with consistency. He will go 1 and 10 one game and then immediately follow up by going 21 and 4 the next game. There is no middle ground, it seems. At the moment, Spirits inhabiting the middle ground. So either he will continue to play well or will sink like an anchor. It's not my rule. That's just the way things go. Either way, just a bit off of the board. Mirage deciding to take the top half of the map over by Trophy and Statuary and Master Bedroom as they look to attack this Aviator defense.
Mirage must be expecting some aggression from XSET because they're playing so far back, droning from concrete that you can't get C4 from, and then no one's actually following these drones, so if XSET were playing aggressively, they'd have to re-drone that entire ground again. A basic setup. Harbreacher on study balcony alone, 1v1 against Gomez basically. Mo has to drone that position out. Gomez gets very aggressive on the jump out. It's absurd.
That's a long run for him to get out there, and they try to hold him in place. Diaz baits in Dexter after Kino falls. Benji's in the middle of the bomb site, and he can get the diffuser down. The smoke coverage completely misses. Now it's on Melted to try to shut down Diaz, but he's got too many angles to look at. Diffuser goes down successfully. Benji shut down by Yaga with the shotgun. Yaga will need to retake. Mirage's 2 players, both very, very low on HP, but that doesn't matter to Kento on red stairs. He'll now reposition, and as a buck, he can get below the bomb site with the skeleton key for the post plant. This is an excellent setup for him to be in. Diaz hopping on it. They must hear the Spirits watching from below, taking some damage. They manage to shake off the diffuser. Diaz will go back on, but it's Melted to trade out, and Melted with 1 HP needs to only buy 4 seconds. Spirits will have to hop on now or else he loses out. And he's past the point of no return. Mirage will get it because Spirits doesn't want to take the engagement, and another round will go to Melted clutching.
That right there is almost a picture-perfect 2v3 post-plant situation. You saw it. The moment Bok got the kill on the red stairs, instantly sprinted downstairs. We all knew what that meant. Bok is going to play the post-plant from below. We mentioned earlier in the pick phase of these operators what Bok adds value-wise to the operator lineup. That right there is picture-perfect. The other member of Mirage outside on study balcony, playing super far back, playing super passive, because if he falls, then Bok plays in that 1v2 from a really tough position. They played their roles perfectly, and it was while being a man down. And XSET, they were trying their best for the post plan. They were trying to retake, and honestly, they had the right idea. One member ran downstairs, challenged the buck. Other member tried to defuse and try and bait out the study player. Mirage just one step ahead and played it a little bit better. And XSET, if there's one team that can win those kinds of rounds where they gotta, get the diffuser down and get multiple kills, it's gotta be XSET. In their opening game on this year in Stage 1 against SSG on Bank, they won like a 5v5 retake on defense, which almost never happens in this game. So they have the experience for it. They made the right decisions, but they did not win the round. 5-2 from Mirage, and round number 8 is going to be a trophy.
Mirage right now, they're just speed walking their way through this. XSET struggles, similar to what Astralis has gone through, shows that there is turmoil in North America. We assumed that the teams at the top would always be in good position. Well, if you're fans of OXG, if you're fans of XSET, if you're fans of Astralis, it has not been the season that you've wanted so far. What is it? TSM, DarkZero, and the Soniqs are the top 3 teams at the moment. Mirage with a victory here could put themselves into the top 4 yet again. Good news for fans of OXG, XSET, and Astralis is that because of their success at the majors and in the first 2 stages, it's all but certain that they're going to make it to SI. So they will be on the biggest stage of them all. As for the rest of these teams, they need to pick up some really crucial SI points and make deep major runs to represent North America. That said, it's a minute off of round number 8. Mirage, a single round away from guaranteeing themselves 1 point by moving to match point. Oh, and Spirits could have started things off by putting Mirage on their back foot.
Instead, there's going to be Yogg fighting for his life, but Melted takes his life away from him. Again, Mirage successful entry on this round.
And Spirits is trying to get out of there. There's so much gunfire happening inside of Aviator, inside of Study. And Spirits managed to make it out alive, which is really a remarkable thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
A trophy statuary defense right now.
But he's so low on HP. So you're alive, but like 1 bullet and you're done again. So 2 successful entries, arguably for Mirage. They still have the Doka B, they have the line, they have a heavy execution-based lineup. They get to hack the phone as well. This is like max value you can get. Gomez, he makes up the difference, takes out Mo. That's a good start for them, but they need more.
Very well done. Spirit's still on very limited HP, no way for a reset here, and no Kona stations, no healers on defense. Finka very firmly out of the meta on attack, so you won't be seeing her topping up any of these players. Kento will likely be the first one to go in. He has the diffuser in hand, but he's going to jostle it around, knowing that it won't be long for this Earth. Gomez taking some serious damage. ADS there waiting, recharged. Can Gomez do anything with this? You'd singled him out as the player that needed to step up the most. He's got 2 kills since then. Logic Bomb goes off, giving his position away, but look at this rad angle he's in. They must assuredly know that he's there, blinded out, waiting.
Yeah.
He hops up. Kento with limited HP does what needs to be done. And he looks across the way. Kino keeps things even for XSET, and now Spirits with limited HP of his own can do some serious damage. The last player for Mirage is Benji outside. And he's got 2 players of XSET to find. The head of Spirits is there, and oh my goodness, what have we said? You only need a single point of HP to make things work. And Spirits gets 2 hugely impactful kills after almost losing his life in that ensuing onslaught.
Absolutely, and one of the more awkward things there is that, you know, you said Kento might drop diffuser, and he did. No one picked up the case once he did it, so even though it looked really good for Mirage, they were on the bomb side, well, they had to go all the way back out to pick up the diffuser, only to go back in, and that creates this really awkward scenario where there are so many conflicting issues about to occur, because you gotta look away, you gotta go through the door twice, there's so many crosshaires established, and, well, didn't end up mattering because XSET just took the round out straight from them. There is a drone bug being called out in chat.
With for a while, and we were spitballing about how it would come to be. But, I mean, I'm interested to see the Rook change. There was chatter from a lot of people when it was on the TS that it was quite, or would be quite overpowered. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but an entire team being able to pick themselves back up is a scary thing.
Yeah.
So.
It brings me Finga vibes, and there's a reason why Finga is no longer played, because it had to get nerfed, right? Not the gadget, but just like how much value she brought. But then again, Rook is a very weak operator that never gets played at professional levels, so I'm also open to a change, even though it might only be for a season or 2. But we are back in the server. We have fixed the problems, we have gotten new drones, you know, new batteries in them, they all work now. Round number 9 is on the way, we are downstairs, tertiary bomb site. What happened is, since the side swap, Mirage won the first attack on ABG, that post-plan in 2v3. Then Trophy was successfully defended by XSET, and now they're going to dine. We see 3 members in the basement, about to rush up in through barrel, up the staircase. It's going to be an explosive and rather quick round. Or we're going to crouch walk. Either way, they're sending it right now, Parker.
They are. They're just going in. Look at Mirage. Sound the alarm. You have a trumpet. Nice. And they're in. And look at that. Mo with the very first kill, but swatted away. And there's one behind them as Melted dies to an EE1D, and Dexter looks to have been down by it as well. Spirits with the catch onto Dexter, and the rush that lasted all but 5 seconds leaves Benji to die to Spirits yet again. XSET capitalize off of Mirage's play. I liked Mirage's chutzpah, but I didn't like the result for them. And XSET have closed the gap. They're 1 round away from sending us all the way to round 12.
I don't want to point any fingers, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there's a very simple reason why that round did not work out in favor of Mirage. And it comes down to execution from an individual player. Kento on the bug accidentally messed up. He bucked the wall from like the brown stairs into the bomb site, but it was a vault angle. So all 3 members are holding sprint key, and they ran into the wall and realized, okay, there's like a gap, or there's like a thing at the bottom. We gotta press space and jump through. And the 4 seconds or 2 seconds that it took for them to like figure that out, well, they got flanked, they got caught mid-animation, they couldn't turn around when they got flanked, and they all basically died in that exact same position. So super minor issue there really slowed them down, because when you're going for a rush, the whole point is obviously to go fast, and they didn't. Of course, the Captain traps were a problem as well. There was a good canister that could have been popped from the defenders too, but ultimately it came down to a small execution error. I like going fast after a tech pause because everyone's kind of winded down, and then you just go full send it. So strategically, pacing-wise, I love this strat. Execution-wise, I give it a 4 out of 10. Could be better.
4 to 10 is actually my favorite fraction, because it goes down to 2 out of 5. And 1 out of 2.5. Isn't that great?
That's fantastic for you, Paul. I'm so happy for you.
It's not how fractions work, my friend. Either way, a bold play by Mirage.
Yeah, it doesn't pay off.
Does not pay off at all. No, no, no. Oh well. They tried, and it gave us something exciting to look at. But Mo will now go on to drone work, and we are quickly getting into this round. I have to check for Calcan traps, which was something that was unfortunately doomed Mirage last time around, but they read correctly, as Yaga will be on Capcan. XSET will run that operator yet again.
It is indeed a library defense, by the way, so all 4 bomb site being showed, and this the play rate of this bomb site is like extremely low, one of the lowest in the entire game, and it's a pocket one. You know, we see Frost and Capcan being brought out, the Echo as well. These are operators that were, well, not the Capcan, but the Frost and the Echo here were purposely picked for this bomb site. You got a few window jump-ins, you got a few nasty corners. Neokais, they can die the plant or gain some information with the exterior roamers. Okay, just like that.
Oh, Melted taking down Yaga, but he's at such a low bit of HP that if he hits a Capcan trap, he's dead, and there's no coming back from that.
Oh, I like this counterplay. Now they can't see them from the vert holes.
There's Benji in this position. He's in the bomb site, but oh man, they bring the heat to him absolutely. Gomez from above. Benji knew that was up there, and he was trying to combat it, but just couldn't do it.
It's going to be hard now. Sledge should be found out as well. 1 bullet will end his life, but he gets away scot-free somehow. I will say, I really love the offset play. It seemed like a great counter, but Diaz and Gomez both having impact grenades just made his life so much more difficult, and he got taken down before a plan could be established. He still smokes on Dexter. The round is still winnable.
Dexter will slowly walk up and do some serious damage and get the down onto Gomez, but XSET are just the better team. Right now, preying on the weaknesses of Mirage. Melted, the one to cover. He gets taken out by Kino. And once Mo gets off the diffuser, Kino can secure, but they know exactly where he is. Can Mo clutch out? He'll have to reload, and he doesn't have a real way out of this. Scampering off. There's lines of sight all the way down, and he gets it down on himself on Aquino. Gomez had been downed earlier on. Spirits from above. They'll have to try to retake the bomb site as the counter just continues to tick away. The goal for Mo is to not get all the kills. It's to just slow them down before they can get onto the diffuser. Gomez will try to bait it out, long arming. Mo might know this. He makes noise. Off the diffuser he goes. Out him! Good God, Mo Hesse clutches out for Mirage. They're on match point.
That is a huge clutch for a player who's playing his first stage in Pro League, and he played it so well in the 1 versus 4, not even going for the reload originally. I thought, he's got out of bullets. There is no way he makes this work, but a combination of good decision-making, good timing, and then playing the odds, right? Members of XSET were particularly low in HP. He just needed a few bullets to hit and land, and that they did. monumental clutch for him in a 1 versus 4 post plan. Once the diffuser goes down, it's always winnable in Rainbow Six Siege, and this round is a testament to just that. The one member on full HP of Spirits, that was a headshot from Mo, by the way. That's what matters the most. That right there guarantees Mirage at least 1 point, because at worst, they'll go overtime loss against XSET. And best, well, they take this round, they win in regulation, or they win the next one.
Well, at least 1 point on the board for Mirage, and good play by Mo, who just really needed to waste time.
Yeah.
He didn't need to go for the kill, but he did it anyway. And ice in the veins, well, that's something that just comes playing with a Canadian team.
Oh.
Though Mo's not Canadian. But no, he's not. But the team is located there, and it looks like the Grey-White North might actually triumph. We will see.
Certainly looks good. I was worried for a second because of the scrappy round. Dexter upstairs alone got, you know, XSET had a good crosshair up above, right? They traded 1-for-1 at worst, but they just got the kill for free instead. Mirage, they have a good read on what they want to do in the beginning, and even when things don't go their way, they can still get fancy with those clutch moments. We saw it against SSG last Playday, we're seeing it now against XSET. These are experienced rosters, or arguably XSET less experienced than SSG, but still somewhat experienced rosters to do this against.
Drone could come up towards Spirits. A victory here for Mirage would catapult them up into 4th place, uncontested in that position. 1 point back of DarkZero, 2 points back of Soniqs and TSM. So within striking distance of first overall. If you look at upcoming matchups, Mirage for the next 4 Playdays play DarkZero, Parabellum, beastcoast, and Soniqs. So that's not exactly the easiest schedule for them. They have to get through XSET first, though. Oh. And XSET are just really bringing the heat to this Mirage squad as they get the first 2 picks on a Mirage.
That they're doing is not pretty right now. I mean, they can get scrappy, we said, they can get clutch. We saw that last round, but Dexter, well, he finds one to York, but they need way more than that. And so far, they're finding him. Mo finds another beautiful shot to Spirits, and somehow we're back in the 3v3 20 seconds later. What's next, though? Now we can slow down. XSET and Mirage both have the same interest in mind right now. Don't throw the current numbers. Mo is low on HP. It's our only hot breach. No nades at their disposal. Gomez on the flank.
Gomez will be able to catch it on to Mo, the hero from the previous round. No more. Closing in on an even match. Mirage have now just slipped a little bit behind. Gained some valuable insight with a minute left as they get the cams of XSET. And we'll give them more information should those cams still remain up. Mirage try and tackle this trophy statuary attack. Not in the same position. Spread out enough. Flash goes in. So does Kento. Position given away as Dexter takes some damage. Playing behind that soft wall is Kino, who's blind. And he does a lot of damage to Kento, who's now been dropped and finished off by Kino. Dexter's the last one, and he gets taken out by Gomez. XSET stay in it.
Kino's shotgun is just absurd. Every time I watch an XSET game, he always does this as well. I'm like, there's no way that's going to do a lot of damage, right? He went from full HP to like 20, if not less. It was absurd. Hipfire shotgun from that distance, it shouldn't.
Instead of that rush play that we saw out of Mirage, which was a big gamble, it did not ultimately pay off, but was still a big gamble all the same. If they had just played it maybe a bit safer. If they'd played it safer, gone about it the way that we've seen so far, because of the 5 rounds they've been in attack, they've won 2 of them through very conventional means. They've lost 2 of them through conventional means, and then you have that 5th round, which was that rush strat all the way back in round number 9. So it's entirely possible, basically 50-50, that Mirage comes out with a much better result. But of course, we have the power of hindsight, the team does not.
I was going to say, while I think it's a valid argument and point to make,
yes,
I hate when you put teams in a position where you say, you shouldn't have taken that risk, because it's after a technical issue. Both teams are, winding down. You go for a rush off the bat, you're going to catch them off guard. It looked like a great idea, conceptually speaking, and they had the balls to do it in a match as well against XSET, which is a team that on paper Mirage shouldn't be beating right now. I hate when we limit them, so I feel like they should do it again, if anything, right? Also show their creativity and their
trying to sabotage them at this point.
No. You believe in the North, Parker. You predict the Mirage to win. We should be rooting for their upcoming. We can't talk about the past, but we can't talk about the present. Right now, Mirage, they want to get this final round. They can still do it. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. And again, I think discipline was what Christian was talking about. Look how slowly Mirage are taking it. No one is jumping in window aggressively. No one is risking dying to a bad gunfight. No one is rushing through anything. We're going through the motions step by step. Often what you see in overtime rounds, or also what you see on match point, is the team who's in the lead is going to start taking a precautious approach because you feel it slipping away otherwise, right? You don't want to be the guy dying first in this round because then you feel like you are to be blamed or you are part of the problem, so to speak. So it's important that all 5 members, the working union, Mirage is doing that, droning for one another. In fact, no one's droning for anybody, they're just droning right now, but they're going to be moving through the motions, through the map. They know it's all clear, just like last time they attacked this bomb site. But it's going to come down to the wire. I expect this to be like a 20-second left execute. It's going to be absolutely chaotic. Oh.
Kino, the very first pick on to Kento. If Mirage want to win in regulation, they're going to have to do so from behind as they've now lost their buck. And Kento has gone ice cold since coming back into this matchup. Mohesi had an incredible round, but he won't be able to contribute much here on match point. And things look like overtime for us.
Getting there very close, at least 40 seconds left. And Mirage, they got to get very scrappy right now.
Dexter was standing under a default cam that entire time. Mirage, you said they were being patient, maybe disciplined, but if anything, they look uncertain, and they're getting picked off one by one. It's only Benji and Melted, and Benji's been dropped on the ground. Melted will need to charge through the smoke to try to do something. The toxic gas going off in front of him. Doesn't look like a flawless will be had. Melted gets his pick, but he gets shut down by Gomez, and we will need extra innings. Neither team will get all 3 points, so dashing the hopes of a regulation win for Mirage is XSET. But both teams secure a single point, and we'll spend at least 2 rounds here in OT to determine who walks away with the win.
Now, from the side of Mirage, there's a bit of a mental game that's now in play because you choked the game, arguably choked the game against SSG. I spoke to Dexter about it Saturday on the podcast that I host, and he was like, "What was it like? You've choked this game, you're up massively. What was going through you guys' mind?" And he said we had a hard time kind of problem solving and figuring out what to do next because all the things that we did in the past, they worked, and when they stopped working, we just couldn't find something else to replace that element. And I think this round right here is going to perfectly illustrate if that has been resolved, because now we're going to go to the same bomb site again. It's the 3rd time Mirage they get to attack it. They've had the same problem on this bomb site twice. Sure, they won that 2v3 clutch the first time around, but other than that, it wasn't a clean-cut round. For the 3rd time, Mirage, that to show us a different attack, a different approach, a different style with a different outcome. Because otherwise, it's going to be just like against the and Chalet, where they attack library the same way for the 3rd time in a row. And guess what? It fails for a 3rd time in a row.
What we see is a defender-sided Villa, so
true.
Don't exactly know if Mirage are victims here, but Gomez will go for an early scout towards spawn, find nothing for it. At least they know there's a Warden on the board as he goes for that run out, assuming that they've already droned it.
Oh,
Yaga with the early pick down in bikes, and down goes Melted.
Tough start.
No, that's not bikes, that's what? That's Mudroom.
Some G2 calls it bikes. Bike room. But yeah, mudrooms.
I was gonna say, because I think NA calls the other bike portion bikes, but anyway.
Different regions, different callouts.
Absolutely.
That is a thing.
Aviator defense given a big boon right now for XSET as they did take that gamble. 2 gambles, in fact, both the runouts paying off. Yaga and Gomez going for the jump out.
Oh, the timing.
Spirits taking damage. Oh, what a shot onto Dexter.
Ouch.
That's a highlight reel play from Spirits, who, what did I say? He would either flourish or sink like an anchor, and he's definitely flourishing at this point since the rehost coming back. 6-2, plenty of time for him to make more things happen as he'll hold off towards the main doorway. A toxic canister will slowly filter away. Here's one. That's not hard to control at that close a range. Kino in on it as well, and Mirage have completely fallen apart. Benji's, I'm assuming, going to take a timeout right now with 90 seconds to go. Get them away, get them as far away from the action as possible. They're not going to be able to find you, so XSET will technically win a flawless round, unless Benji decides to go back in.
Yeah, you can talk about the upcoming round, right? You can't really talk about this round right now because you're not going to see this attack ever again because this bomb site is locked. Even if you win your defensive round, you're not going to attack AVG. So I assume right now it's about, again, the discipline, the mental, and obviously the spawn peaks, right? Because now 2 rounds in a row, a member of Mirage got spawn peaked early on, and that's something that really can't be happening in these scenarios. You're losing opening kill after opening kill, and you're playing from that disadvantageous position where in the first half of this game, well, Mirage is doing excellent in the opening kill department, but round by round, they've slowly started losing their grip in that department. Either it's a trade back from XSET, or they just outright lose it the last 3 rounds in a row.
This is the second time that we've seen a player taken timeout. It was, what was it, XSET before, I believe.
Yeah, from DS.
That did it, yeah, and there you have it. It's a small finish for XSET as they flawlessly get it done, and now they move on to match point.
Yep. Now, of course, the benefit here is, if you want to talk numbers, it is, as we mentioned, a defender side of Villa. XSET, they get defense twice. So Mirage, really, they have like the biggest, obstacle to overcome right now because they do have to win 1 of their 2 attacking rounds, assuming that they win the defensive round as well. They have free choosing from any bomb site. They're choosing Trophy, Statuary Room. Last time, way back, Mirage was defending. They went to Trophy 1 time, 2 times, and guess what? They won both of those rounds. The only bombs that they lost was the first opening AVG round, and then the very last round on the defense on AVG again. So statistically, it's a great bomb site for them, but they gotta do it 1 more time. Otherwise, it's over for them with an 8-6 scoreline back-to-back in terms of play days.
And they were just on a tear.
They were.
They were absolutely on a tear. It was 6-4 for Mirage. That was after, of course, they gave up round number 9 on that crazy rush strat that we saw come out from them. We don't see a lot of rush strats on Villa the way that we used to.
No. No, we don't.
I honestly think that when we had Finca in the meta, it made a lot more sense to go for those strategies as well because you could top up, you would have the Adrenal Surge be the starting sound for so many of you. But I mean, I don't want to fixate on a single round because that was also not the round that really cost them. And if you think about it, Mohesi had the incredible clutch back in round 10. If it wasn't for that 1v3 clutch that he pulled off, this matchup ends in regulation with XSET getting all 3 points.
That's true, actually. Good point.
So, I mean, it's easy for us to fixate on a single round, but there's a lot more to it than that, either way.
I mean, certainly is. XSET, attack and lineup-wise, going for a stable, consistent one. No Monty, nothing like that. And Spirit, he has found his footing, as you mentioned, Parker. 8-2 since the rehost. And he's been on fire ever since. Had a phenomenal round, in fact, last round on the main stairs of Smoke. Got that double kill and a nice shot onto the person on the rappel. That was Mo, I believe. Now he's downstairs. Still has 2 nades in his pocket. So does Yogg. Plenty of utility for XSET to fish for these kills and do some damage. Or try and get an opening somewhere.
Drone Yogg in fact, they'll actually both go onto drones. I like that they've kept drones in the basement because if you recall, there was that flank that came in from Mirage that completely caught XSET off guard. If you're going to try to take kitchen or pantry, you need to be very wary of somebody sneaking up on you from that angle. Oh, that's an explosion that almost kills Dexter. He manages to survive for now, holding this tight angle, looking into master bedroom, where nobody is for the moment.
Tough position to be in right now. Decision maker right now. Do I aggress? Do I stay? What's the risk here? Well, Dexter can play aggressive. He's 1 HP. Might as well try and get something for his trouble, but it is tough.
Kino searching for kills. Both of these teams very slow to want to take engagements, but XSET cracks it open. Down goes Kento and Dexter. A tough spot for Mirage now, but there wasn't much left of Dexter, to be fair. Now it's Mirage try to retake the bomb site, and they lose the Rotero drone that scoots by 2 separate players of Mirage. Not an ideal situation to be in. XSET getting ever closer. Now it's Spirits to walk up. Only inches away from the B-bomb site. 2 players from Mirage deep far back inside of Astro, isolated at this current position, so Spirits has all the land in the world, and he's going to take it. It's free real estate for Spirits as he gets 2, leaving Mohesi to try to clutch out against every member of XSET, and he's not going to do it. 2 flawless rounds in a row is enough for XSET to take the win in overtime.
That means that, yep, 2 Playdays in a row against SSG and now XSET. Mirage, they get close, but they can't quite make it. 6-8 losses back-to-back, but I will say Mirage, phenomenal start overall.